Starting to record now. Okay, you introduce yourself and then we go from there.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Roy. I am an accountability coach. What I do is I help people take action in their lives, and that's why we are talking here today about the 10X rule by Grant Cardone. When I read this book not too long ago, it's everything I coach. So I was really excited when I saw Maryjoy talking about it on Periscope, and she was talking about scoping about it on a consistent basis. And I said I would be more than happy to get on a Blab with her and start discussing this. And this is the first of hopefully many Blabs in regards to the 10X rule by Grant Cardone.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. This is Maryjoy. I'm the founder of PeriNewbies, and I started reading. Let me show you the book. Reading the 10X rule from Grant Cardone. And wow. Hi, Joanne. How are you doing? I just can't believe what this book is doing for me and what it's doing for everybody. So I started scooping about it, and everybody is like, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna be reading with you soon. So that's where we are. We want to share this book with you and tell you what it's doing for us. So yep. Okay, so what do you want to how do you want to go about this?
Well, I'll preface it with this. Grant Cardone came into my life via Facebook probably within the last year. And I would get his notifications on my Facebook and things like that. And I always saw sales leader, sales guy. What is this guy about? Why is he coming up on my feed? And I kept seeing this 10X rule. I went and looked at it, referenced it, and said, oh, that's a book I would like to read. And didn't get around to it for quite some time. I think I actually bought it and I didn't have the time to read it, right? So I finally bought the audio of it and I listened to it. This is the fascinating thing, and I don't know how far you are into the book, is Grant Cardone wrote this book back in 2008, 2009, when the real estate market had crashed. He has made his fortune and his money in the real estate market. So when the real estate market was going south, he decided to reinvent himself and say that he wanted to be the top sales guy, be regarded as the top salesperson when it comes to sales anywhere. That's his goal. And he decided to write the 10X rule. So basically, I Googled him at some point and I said, what is this man worth? Now, when I Googled him originally, it said his net worth was worth about $500 million. I don't know how many of you would be interested in learning from somebody that has a net worth of $500 million, but I'm one of those people. I actually just recently, yesterday, looked it up again to make sure that my number was right. And actually, most sites I found said he's worth $100 million. Still, I want to learn from somebody who's worth $100 million. What was interesting, and again, I don't know if you're this far in the book, Maryjoy, is this.
I'm finished.
You are finished.
Yeah.
At some point in the book, he said that his goal was to be worth $100 million, right? And that was 6 years ago. And considering how the book goes, he says, if you want something in life, 10X it, meaning multiply it times 10. I'm going to assume that he was worth about $10 million. He doesn't say it in the book, but he was worth about $10 million 6 years ago. And he now has a net worth of over $100 million just 6 years later. Why? Because he took what he calls 10X action or massive action in regards to it. So the book, I didn't know those facts until I researched them a little bit afterwards. But this is a man that you really, really, really want to pay attention to, because not only did he write the book, but he has lived the book.
Yeah, I'm watching him in Periscope. I'm on Twitter with him, and also I'm watching him in Facebook. So every time I comment, he likes every comments that I'm doing, and I'm like, I'm gonna meet you one day. So I'm super excited because it's changing my life too. Before like he said, if you think average, you're gonna get average results. Now, I'm thinking 10x everything because I wanna change my life, those who's watching me, and also my kids' life. And I'm super excited where this book is going. So when you ask me, can we do a blog together? I'm like, okay. You know, you guys know I'm very shy, but I'm coming out of my comfort zone because I wanna show other people out there who shy like me that you can do it too. You just need that encouragement. And I think this book really, for me, is changing the way I'm thinking about my life too. To be put himself as, oh, okay.
So I'm actually going to hop off here right now, and I'm going to get on the computer.
Okay.
So that so if you want to continue, it probably shouldn't take me too long to
All
get
right.
on.
I'll ask somebody. Is anybody willing to join me to talk about it for a while before I did send it to the Facebook, and basically it is just what can I say? This is hi no. How are you doing? We're just talking about this 10x rule book because to me, hi, how are you doing? Have you seen the have you read this book? Have you seen it? It's changing a lot of people's lives, and I'm doing a scoop every day about it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to buy the book. And I said, okay. It's what can I say? You see it? Oh, it's just awesome. I don't know. I couldn't put it down, and I'm glad I finished it. So now I'm reading it, well, section by section to others to show them that, you know what, this can help you too if you're aiming to change your life financially, physically, emotionally. Basically, it's a book that I want to reread again. So if you want to join in and join us and get talk about it, we'd love to have you. There's a seat there for you. And yeah, so this is really awesome, guys. And plus, with my group, PeriNewbies.com, it's helping our group as well. Because hi, the sermon, how are you doing? So there's Ryan. He knows more about the book than I am. I'm still new to it, and my little one over there is making noise as usual. Hi, what's officially B? I can't remember. New to this, yes. This is a brand new blab that we starting because we both read 10x rule book, and we want to share with you guys that this is changing other people's lives. And hi, Essence. That's Essence.
Hey, Essence.
Shh, keep the noise down. Yeah. Sorry, I have this little one over here. He's making noise. So I'll be right back. Okay. Essence, do you want to jump in and talk with us? And let's get this conversation going. Let me turn it over to Ryan. He knows.
Yep.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yep. You go take care of the little ones. And so I have some highlighted parts of the book. I tend to do things on the iPad as opposed to the hardcover books. I'm going to read a part from the book that I highlighted as I was reading it. It says, as I look back over my life, I see the one thing that was most consistent with any success I've achieved was that I always put forth 10 times the amount of activity that other people did. For every sales presentation, every phone call or appointment others made, I was making 10 of each. When I started to buy real estate, I looked at 10 times more properties than I can buy and made offers to ensure that I was able to buy what I wanted at the price I desired. See, for me, that means when he started putting in more and more offers, just because you put out an offer doesn't mean there's going to be an acceptance in real estate. I've been in real estate myself, so I resonate with that simply because there was a point in time where I used to what I call lowball offers. So if somebody was asking $250,000 for a house, I would put in $125,000, and I would put out 25 of these contracts at a time. When I say at a time, I mean daily. And I bought 3 houses that way at half price of what they were asking, simply because I put forth the energy and effort and made a lot of money doing so. How many people out there would not take the time, energy, and effort to even do that? I probably put out 1,000 contracts and only got 3 back, but those 3 are the 3 that made me a lot of money. Why? Because I got the deals at half off. So my question to you is, what area of your life can you put 10x efforts into? I know Maryjoy over there right now is putting 10x efforts into her venture of building PeriNewbies. Right?
Yeah.
It's probably nonstop over there.
Nonstop, yeah. And also I'm doing my own scoop at the same time, because like I said, the goals that you want to achieve, he said, if you're aiming for 10,000, why don't you go 10 times that? So I want, well, my aim is 1 million pounds per year, and that's a huge goal, because I want to be able to have a foundation one day for those mothers who don't have money, don't have support, and they're really having that hard time to feed their kids. So that's one of the foundation that I really want to do one day, and say, you know what, here it is. I know how hard it is to be a single mother and you don't have that money to feed your kids. And I've been there where I was in tears. I was like, where can I get that money to feed those 2 kids? And it's hard. So he's hoping that one day I will have that kind of income. So I'm working towards it, and I'm gonna 10x everything. So yeah.
And like he says, there's 4 steps. I talked about this the other day. There's 4 types of action. And I don't know that he talked about this in the book or not. I have another course by Grant Cardone talking about sales, but he says there's 4 types of action. Do you know what those actions are, Maryjoy?
I'm not sure, you know, it's been, I think, a week and a half I finished. So
okay.
I'd love to hear your what they are.
So you can be taking, the first action is taking the right action, right? Mm-hmm. Which will actually yield the result that you want. And that is the most ideal one. The other one would be the wrong action. You could be taking the wrong action. Just because people are in action doesn't mean they're necessarily going to get the results that they want. Usually there's some type of learning curve when you're taking action in life. The third one is no action, right? Many people are sitting on their couch thinking about what they can be doing to be successful, as opposed to going out and doing it. Because once they decide to implement it, often it's not how we imagine it in our mind. We never imagine ourselves failing in our minds, right? And then the last one is what Grant Cardone talks about with the 10X rule, is taking massive action. Because no matter whether it's the right action or the wrong action, he often says in the book that if you're not hitting challenges or problems, then you're not taking enough action. Even if you're taking the wrong action, you will learn through the process that you will correct and continue. You'll make mistakes, but because you're making mistakes faster than most people, you're going to get to resolving those problems much faster than most people, and then getting to your ultimate goal.
I know there's so many. I mean, I was thinking to myself that I'm gonna buy the audio as well, because I wanna like take it all in, so that I can really make this work for me. Hi, Troy, if you'd like to join in, we have a seat there for you. You just click on it and ask Ryan any question, and me, I'll try my best. I just finished it, so I'm brand new to this. But he's how many times have you read the book?
I listened to it twice. And then I reference back occasionally. I'll go to a chapter and I'll see, you know, what resonates with me in the moment, and then I'll read it. So I haven't read it multiple times, but as I said, as an accountability coach or an action coach, right, somebody who holds people accountable to stay in action, many of the principles in here are things that I tend to coach on. So I'll pose the question out to anybody out there: what goals, or what is it that you'd like to accomplish in 2016 that we could apply some 10X principles to and maybe we could help them formulate that. I'll actually share something going on in my life right now that I had to put some 10X into today. I am dealing with insurance companies because I broke my ankle, and I have an insurance company. I paid all the bills that said they would reimburse me, and now that they're all paid, they're having challenges reimbursing me, right? They're giving me the runaround. So I've been nice for a little while with the occasional email or the occasional phone call. But today I got on the phone with, I sent an email telling them I'm going to pursue legal action. My wife sent an email. One of my best friends, which his wife is an attorney, reached out, and I am probably sending out 3 or 4 emails when we get done, in addition to contacting the hotel that pays for this insurance, and let them know how their insurance company is doing business. So instead of just doing an email a week or a month or however much I've been doing over the last couple months, I took massive action today, and I'm probably going to get some results tomorrow simply because they're going to be contacted by me, my wife, 3 attorneys, and probably the hotel itself in regards to my claim, because I'm not sitting around anymore. And I've been sitting around on it, right? I haven't been taking massive action. Hey, B. Sermon, welcome, my friend.
Now, I'm new to this, so work with me.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for jumping in and taking some action yourself, right? You're new to it, and you got out of your comfort zone and said, hey, they invited me. Let's do this. Right. I want to say hi to Heidi, who is in there, and Essence also for jumping in on the Blab. Thank you so much for joining us. So did you have a question or something that you wanted to run by us, my friend?
Well, I was listening. So from my understanding, I was hearing about a book.
Correct.
What was the book about?
So what we're discussing today, the book that we're discussing today, Maryjoy, if you want to hold it up, because I have is called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is a famous speaker, author, businessman, and specifically over the last few years, sales is his forte. And he wrote this book about 6 years ago called The 10X Rule. And what he talks about is taking massive action, or anytime you set a goal, try to 10 times that. But not only 10 times it, but take 10 times the amount of action in regards to how you want to accomplish that goal. And even if you come up short of that 10X, you're probably going to attain the real goal, the original goal.
Exactly. Okay. So basically go, like you said, 10 times. Whatever your goal is, press for 10 times that. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's a lot, but yeah, I understand that.
But if you come up short on the 10X, the chances are you're going to get the 1 times the amount, right? So let's say you wanted to make, $10,000 next month. I'm just using numbers randomly,
right?
Or $100,000 next year. Grant says don't go for 100,000 next year, go for $1 million next year. And if you come up short, the chances are you will have made the 100,000 simply based on pure numbers.
Right.
But you need to take the 10X action. What actions would you need to take in order to make that $1 million? And if you're taking the actions necessary, you will more than probably come up with the original goal of 100,000.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So this platform basically is to get your business or your goal, whatever your goals are personally, to help. This is also to help get those out there. Correct.
Absolutely. I believe Maryjoy and myself are both on Periscope.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Periscope?
Yes.
So Periscope, we met on Periscope. She is the founder of what's called PeriNewbies. I don't know if you're new to Periscope or not, but you could join PeriNewbies on PeriNewbies.com and join the Facebook group. It's a free group to help mentor people who want to use Periscope as a platform to get their message out there. And we just happened to get over here and wanted to share this message of the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone and allow people to jump in the hot seats and discuss it with us.
Okay.
So yes, this is a platform for us to get our message out, as well as whatever anybody else would like to use it for, I imagine.
I'm friend you on here.
But that's how we're using the platform.
I'm a friend you on.
What was that?
I said I'm a friend you on here, be my third and fourth friend.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll friend you. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see y'all next time.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for popping in.
No
So
problem.
does anybody else out there have any questions or would like to pop in regards to the 10X rule or how they're going to apply it in their life? So again, Maryjoy, in regards to, let's say, Periscope, what are your goals for 2016?
Ooh, I'm not even sure if that's one goal that we're moving forward. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say here, but
why not?
We want to have a PeriNewbies vacation get together. That's one of our goals, and also 10,000 members. So that is a big goal because it's we 1,000 right now, and that's 10xing everything. And the vacation will be to just get to know each other and have fun. So yeah, that's my goal for that.
So in regards to the 10,000 members, what is the time frame that you want to complete that in?
Well, by summer next year, or even before that. But I'm looking before the summer, because
so by July 1st.
Yeah, somewhere around that. Yeah, because it's growing so quickly. I'm sure by the summer we are gonna hit that, because Periscope is just like, oh my gosh, I've never come to live streaming that really get you involved with everyone else, whether you're the broadcast or you're the viewers. I think somebody mentioned Facebook Live is not even gonna touch Periscope. Periscope is on its own. And I don't know if, have you used Meerkat before?
No, I have not. I've heard of it, but I've never used it.
Even that, I did quickly went to look at it. I had an account, but it's, to me, it doesn't have that what Periscope has. So I'm glad I created PeriNewbies, because you know what, we are gonna have a lot of people brand new coming in, and like a lot of you are saying, PeriNewbies is at the heart of the beginning, and I can't wait for us to grow this and get to know everybody. So also, I'm hoping to go to Periscope Summit, but I don't want to go by myself, because I want you all, the mentors, to be there with me to celebrate together, because this is a team effort, and I can't wait to be there together. Yeah, so that's another goal that I want to get to as well.
When's the next summit? Do you want to go to this summit?
No, not this one. Not this one. The next one. I'm not sure when that is, but I'm keeping my eye on it, because I think it would be great if we can all go together, just to, you know. Oh, I can't wait. I think I need everybody's support. I'm too shy to be doing it.
Well, this is what I do as an accountability coach or an action coach, is I actually break things down into smaller steps for people. So I did a little bit of math here, and if you were to get 10,000, if we were to get 10,000 divided by 6 months, that would be, well, actually it's 8,500. Is it 8,500 or 8,600 we need now?
We have 1,400.
So 1,400, but you need 6 months worth, right? Yeah. So, because we're going to do it in the first half. So that would be 8,600 divided by 6. And that'd be 1,400 people per month.
Wow.
On average, right? So we got to make the goals realistic. So realistically, but listen, let's talk, because this is what the 10X rule is about.
Yeah.
So if you were to do that, now you divide that number by 4, because that's a weekly basis, and you have 358 new members per week.
Per week, okay.
Okay.
That means we have to 10x massive action then.
So listen, so what does that mean? We need to do 50 per day on average.
50 per day, right? Okay.
So now what do we need to do to get the mentors or the people involved to commit to How many mentors do you have right now and ambassadors?
Heidi, are you still there? Ambassadors, we have so many people who's ambassadors. I know the mentors, we have so much as well. I'm not even sure, to be honest. I haven't counted, but 20 something like that.
So
20.
So Heidi, we're going to ask you the question. Do you know how many mentors we have in PeriNewbies right now? Because this is a great way to demonstrate what the 10X rule is all about. Because right now we need to get 50 new people a day in order to achieve that goal of 10,000. Now, if we have 10 mentors or 10 people, and we could each get 5 new people in each day, which is somewhat doable, right? But if we had 20, then we each need to get 2.5 to 3.
Interesting.
Now, if everybody could get 3 people a day and commit to talking on their scope about it and inviting people, and most of us are scoping 2 and 3 times a day.
Yeah.
If everybody can do that, then our goal of 10,000 without any outside forces can be attained.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from now. Oh, thank you. Even I see. I'll just read the book and I'm still learning. That's
Well, he talks about just taking massive action. Now the massive action realistically, and Grant talks about this in the book, is you can't just invite 10 people and expect 3 to show up and join the group, right? You're probably going to have to scope enough to touch at least 50, maybe even 100 new people a day, or through your other social mediums to attract those 3 people. So that's what people don't realize. You can't just sit there and talk to 3 people and expect 3 people to show up. You need to talk to 10 times that amount, 30, and I would say in this forum, even 100 people to get 3 new people to show up every single day. Now, what does that entail? Now, what is that massive action? How many scopes are you going to do a day? I would say minimum 3. But if you could get the mentors to each do 3 scopes a day and in each one invite people, all they have to do is say, hey, if you're new to Periscope and new to this, please go to PeriNewbies.com, sign up where there's a massive amount of support for you new people on there. Ask questions and the mentors will answer them in the room.
Interesting.
And that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
But you need to do it consistently and it needs to happen every day. And there needs to be an army of people who agree to do that. And that's massive action.
Wow. I'm gonna share that. Well, we're recording it, so I will share this with Sandy and the other mentors, because we wanna get to that 10,000 and the Periscope Summit and also the vacation, because you know what, it's not all about the members, it's about touching and changing people's lives. This is why I love Periscope. Even this, but Periscope is just got that. Share with us what you think of Periscope, because for me it has changed my life dramatically.
Well, Periscope for me, and this is why I was actually on a coaching session with a potential client. And she said to me, she goes, have you heard of Periscope? I think you would be great on there. And I said, I can't say I have. And this was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. She told me about it. She told me that somebody said it was the next best thing. And I hear a lot of things that are going to be the next best thing. At some point I got on it and checked it out. And, you know, just like everybody, probably went to the map and clicked on something and saw some young lady that was babysitting, criticizing people for watching her. And not saying anything when she was looking into the camera, not saying anything herself. And I said, this is not for me. And I turned it off for a few weeks. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the power of it was. I didn't know what type of people were on Periscope. But fast forward, I saw in the local Atlanta area, which I'm in, on a meetup group. I have a meetup group on meetup.com, and I came across somebody saying, hey, they're going to talk about the power of Periscope and how they can monetize their business with Periscope. And I decided that I was going to go to that meetup group, and my mind exploded. I don't know if you know Matt Crane 10X. Do you know Matt Crane 10X here on Periscope?
I don't know the name. No.
So Matt Crane and 10X, and mind you, 10X, because one of his mentors is Grant Cardone.
Okay.
So I was in this Periscope meetup and somebody said, hey, you remind us of Matt Crane 10X. You should be on Periscope. And I hadn't scoped at that point. And then they kind of said, well, let me see if I can't get Matt on, probably similar to how I could probably get you on pretty quickly if I needed to. At the time, they basically tweeted out and said, hey, Matt, get on Periscope. And he got on. And then he said, hey, somebody requested me out here. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. He did his little spiel for 3 or 4 minutes. And then he literally said, hey, whoever wanted me out there, you know, put my hashtag in your title and I'm going to come over to your scope. Well, the people heading it said, you need to get on, you need to get on. And thankfully I had Periscope set up, but I had never really scoped. So they came over my shoulder. They showed me, they said, talk into the camera, introduce yourself. And I said a little bit of something. And then Matt came on and then we had thinking on. In that moment, he brought his followers and told all of his followers to follow me. I think 34 people actually followed me that day. And I think I had about 2,600 hearts in a 3-minute scope the very first time. And my mind exploded. I said, oh my God, if that can happen like that, and you can get an audience that quickly talking about what you're passionate about, and all you have to do is hit the little broadcast button on your phone. Why am I hosting meetup groups, spending money for a venue, marketing to it, in hopes that people drive across town, show up, and are actually present when they're there? Because sometimes people show up, but they're not there mentally.
Yeah.
On Periscope, if you're not there mentally or it doesn't resonate with you, it's real easy to just get off. So if you can get on a Periscope and 20 people stay engaged with you for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, you know you're doing something right. And that excites me.
Hi, everybody. We have another seat here. If you want to join us, talk about Periscope, the next row, and your goals for next year, come on board and let's get this going together. Go.
So it looks like Sunshine Lady Annette, which is out of Germany, she does follow me, is trying to get on. So Annette, if you could hear me, that I've had this challenge trying to get on. What I've had to do in the past, realize that it says Blab beta for a reason. It is in testing mode. It's only a few months old. I've found that the best way to get on is to basically reboot the entire computer and get back on. And for some reason, that clears cookies or does whatever and allows you to get in. So if you want to get on, it looks like you're trying to get on, but it doesn't seem to be coming up.
Yeah, she's trying. It's it happened to me as well. So it's just a matter of trying what works.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Heidi gone? I think Heidi's left. Oh, she's still there.
Heidi is still here. Does anybody have any questions that they want to put in the question bar? Something you can do to make sure that the question gets addressed and it pops up in the left-hand side of our screen is to put a /Q and then write it, and the question will come up. Anything in regards to the 10X rule, taking massive action, and how it's going to apply to you in maybe 2016. I've made a commitment to myself in the first 6 months, just to give you an idea of 10X, to do over 600 scopes. That's 3 a day on average, a little over 3 a day, 60 blabs, and 10 speaking engagements in the first 6 months of 2016. If that's not 10Xing it, I don't know what is. So,
Ryan, now that you're in Periscope, what do you think about it? And what's your, let's say there are people coming on board, they're brand new. What's your advice? Because like you did not know how to get started. You wasn't sure what it's all about. What's your advice to them? Because we have so many people coming in right now.
Well, I would be crazy not to say go to PeriNewbies.com and get some mentorship, right? But something else you could do is, in addition to that, is watch a number of other scopes. But then the question is, who's good out there? Who do you listen to? And that's the best thing is if you go to PeriNewbies and get some mentors, many of us are following some amazing people already. Go in and look at our scopes. Go into Maryjoy's and see who she's following. Go into mine and see who I'm following. Because I'm following people who are taking action. I'm following people who are mentoring me, because nobody knows what Periscope has in store. It's literally only 9, maybe 10 months old at this point, 9 months old. So we still don't know the power of it.
It started in March, and I just came on board end of June, beginning of July, and that's when I started it was called Newbies and Periscope, but the name, someone said to me, don't use that, so I changed it to PeriNewbies, and from then it's just like, whoo, it just grown, and yeah, so it's awesome. And that's how we met you. You came onto PeriNewbies. I'm like, oh my gosh, they are coming to me.
Well, you were going to do I don't know if you call it a 24-hour scope-a-thon. And I said, well, this is interesting. Let me check it out. And I got on, and I liked the people who were involved in it. I was watching you guys pass the scope, because the scope got passed to me, right? From Matt Crane to me,
right.
Essentially. So that's how I was introduced to it. So as you saw yesterday when I was on my scope, I love doing that. I've probably done that outside of PeriNewbies. Probably 15 times. I've had 15 individuals on my scope that I've gotten to take their first step and get on their first scope from my scope before I even got involved with PeriNewbies. So for me, that's kind of a great way to break the ice for people with a ton of support. Let them know that they're here supported by my group of people who are in. Everyone's going to click and follow and go over, and everyone's going to give you a lot of love. All we ask of you is to introduce yourself to the world, because taking the first step is often the hardest one. But once you do that and realize, hey, that wasn't that bad, you will continue to do that. And some people that I've introduced it to have taken off tremendously and got, I mean, I have close to 400 followers at this point. I've been on 6 weeks. And some of those people have way more people than I do.
Yeah.
Because I help break that ice for them. So it's exciting for me to watch people break the ice and then flourish and bloom like a flower. And that's what's great about PeriNewbies, is you guys are continually, I should say, we are continually supporting those people taking their first steps, and whatever they need support in afterwards. We have a group and a team of people who are willing to assist in that.
Oh, and don't forget, we have PeriNewbies TV that we are opening to others to come in and be featured on it, to share the business, the products, or whatever you want to share. So get in touch with us, the mentors, Heidi, Ryan, and me. Heidi, do you want to come on board, or are you having problem as well? Yes, that's. I'm super excited that you're on board with us. Oh, there's Heidi. This is gonna take us to so many places. I can't. I don't know what else to say. She's having. Is it just that?
Oh, it looks like Heidi's getting on.
Oh,
she's on.
I've just been to yoga, so I took my makeup off, so I don't know what I look like. I mean, let me just I'm on my Kindle.
Well, don't worry, Heidi. I'm the same. Sometimes I don't have no makeup on, so.
Yeah, I've just been sweating out for an hour and a half. Not bad, not bad.
No, you're all right.
Yeah. There is a question I've got about the 10X. I've been on Amazon twice. The first time I got it said the paperback was 35, so I went on the other day and I thought that's a good price. Now it's 15. I'm wondering if there's different. Has he got two different? Has he got an old edition and a new edition, or does it matter? No.
I don't think it matters. So you said you kind of came in and out. You said the price was 10 and then it was 15.
It was 35 and then 15.
Well, I think it all depends on where you go. So I bought mine on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
And you realize Amazon is a bunch of distributors, right? So Amazon, you could be buying from Maryjoy, you could be buying from me, you could be buying from. Amazon is basically just a house that houses everything for us individual buyers.
Okay.
You could be buying from Target. So it depends on who's selling it and what price point. But if you do a search by price, you'll probably get the best price if you buy on Amazon.
Okay, I get it. I just wondered if it was an old edition, and I wanted to get the latest one, so that's all right. That's good. I'll just get the cheapest one then.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just bought the cheapest one because, you know, some of us, we have to look after our money until we like Grant Cardone.
Not some of us, all of us. Even Grant Cardone looks after his money. That's why he has money.
Yeah, I've seen it. I love it. I love that. Yeah. How people, even the millionaires, do it. It's brilliant.
Oh, and today I was watching him flying. You know, he has his own plane, and he was showing by when they're going up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the life of a millionaire. You know what I mean? So
amazing. I was thinking we need an invite. Do you know what I mean, on his plane?
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan?
There's 10x.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'll ride with Grant Cardone any day. You know, pick his brain for a couple hours while we're in flight, but he'd probably be too busy 10xing it by scoping and getting on Facebook and selling somebody and setting up another meeting that I probably wouldn't get 2 words in edgewise, because that's what he does. He always has multiple things going. I saw when he got on a plane about a month ago, he's like, look, I'm going to Dallas. I have 4 meetings. I'm there for 1 day. I'm not going to get on a plane just for one thing, so I make sure my people set up multiple meetings in the same city.
Wow.
And he's not going to waste his time by going to one thing. So for people who are thinking about going out to San Francisco, right, don't go out to San Francisco just for the event, for the Periscope event, for the summit. Go out, visit people, even if you make it a vacation and that trip. Go out for multiple reasons. Make sure you spend a day before and a day after, because you're going to meet some amazing people, right? And during the event, everybody's going to be so consumed with meeting and going to meetings and doing whatever is going on for the summit that you're really not going to get the opportunity to connect. So spend a day before, maybe even a day after, or both if you can, and connect with those people. Don't just go out just for the summit. Go in and leave. Go and make real connections to go long-term outside of Periscope.
You know, one thing that I like about Periscope is changing a lot of people's, you know, confidence. Like Heidi, oh my gosh, Heidi, she was, I had to tell her, you know what, you can do this. Because tell us, Heidi, how it felt when you started with Periscope.
I was terrible. I think I spent weeks overthinking it, just going around in circles. I did a really bad one, then took me another week to get on, and then I just kept ballsing it up. And then when I did a scope, 24 hours overthinking it of everything I did wrong. And then it took me a little bit more time to get back on it. And then, yeah, I contacted you, wasn't it? And I got into PeriNewbies, and it was, yeah, and you pushed me out of my comfort zone. Like, it was, you know, a gentle one, but it's what I needed. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. You know, it gave me responsibilities within the group, and yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, being out, I think that's where you definitely learn. That's where I've learned, and you know, getting myself out of the comfort zone, because sometimes we need someone to shove us out of our comfort zone, because it's really hard to make the push. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's amazing, and I love seeing. I keep saying it on my scopes, and I always will. How people grow with it. It's really quickly. I find. I'll get someone up, they do another scope. By the 3rd scope, I'm like, wow, yeah, that's what I really enjoy. I do enjoy it. And then you get to know them better, and connections. It's really good. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Ryan don't have no problem with live streaming. He looks like he's just natural in front of the.
But it didn't happen overnight. So I'm going to share that with you. Is years ago, I had a YouTube channel. And I got comfortable in front of the camera doing that. And so people will say, oh, wow, you're pretty natural at this. You seem comfortable. But I probably had over 500 YouTube videos up at one point. So don't think that I was just like you guys. It was just 10 years ago when I was doing my YouTube channel where I was uncomfortable in front of the camera. It's a little bit different format here, right? Because you have to communicate with people, keep an eye on this, see who's talking about what, engage on Periscope with the people who are coming in and out of your scope. So it's a little bit different. But when all of those things, in addition to being uncomfortable in front of the camera, are coming into play, being conscious of all those things is difficult because you're so worried about yourself. What I would say to people, and that's why I ask people when I pass the scope to new people, just introduce yourself. Don't worry about talking to people. Don't worry about anything. Just talk and introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, why you're perusing around on Periscope. Yesterday, the gentleman, I can't think of his name. I think it was Eric off the top of my head. He wanted to pass the scope all of a sudden. It's like, it's kind of a skill set. You got to have a little confidence. You can't just pick somebody. Somebody kind of has to volunteer. People all naturally like, oh, I'll pass the scope to somebody. No, just get on and talk about yourself and be happy that you did that. You don't have to emulate everything you learned in the very first scope that you were on.
Yep. So, Heidi, you've been hearing me talk about 10X rule book. What do you think so far? I can't hear you. Have you gone? I can't hear you.
Sorry, when I was putting my dog out. My dog's got a bad habit of every time I'm scoping or on here or Zoom, he wants the door open every 2 minutes. I've got to get him out of that habit. He's scratching away. He just wants to go out and drink some rainwater. But yeah, I'm definitely getting it as soon as I get off here now, because I know it's the right book then. And I think it's really, I've watched one of his scopes quickly day after yesterday, and it just got me motivated. And then the follow-up, with watching your scopes as well, I think it's really good. At first, when you said that, I thought, oh my God, to times it by 10, sometimes if I think, right, I'm going to work 18 hours a day, I don't work an hour. Do you know what I mean? I put myself pressure on. I think I procrastinate really badly. So, but I'm sure that, so I'm going to see how he does it. Well, it sounds like it's working really.
So, Ryan, when somebody says they want to work 18 hours, how they gonna have sleep, eat, and how they gonna do this? I can't hear you as well. What's happening?
I think I muted myself for a second. What I would say is work efficiently for 8 hours. As Heidi just said, she procrastinates. Most people in an 8-hour workday think about doing things for 5 of those hours and actually spend maybe 2 or 3 hours actually working at best instead of just doing it. That's why I named my company Justify or Just Do It, because you could think or justify why you're not doing things, or you could actually just do them. For the same example, Heidi, you said that you got on and you analyzed it for another 24 hours or another week before you got back on, right? All that analyzation, you could have been going and making mistakes that you could correct. Just do it. Just do it. And I'm sure in hindsight now you're going, yeah, I probably could have done that and it would have been more beneficial to me at this point, right? Yep. But we get caught up in our own mind. The longer we think about things, the more fear comes about.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that stops us is fear. But when you talk about it, I'll do a quick little lesson in regards to fear. So maybe those who are on listening can give me a quick second. I got a little whiteboard here that I can do this on. So I use this TFAR. So TFAR. Has anybody seen that before?
No.
Okay. So T is your thoughts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your actions, and your actions yield your results. Okay? But often our thoughts lead to feelings, but the number one feeling that stops us from taking action is fear.
Fear, yeah.
Okay, so I often say that thoughts lead to fear, which leads to inaction, which gives you a lack of results. Now let's define fear. Fear, by definition, let me ask you this, Maryjoy, and I'll ask anybody who's in the room. When you think of fear, this is what stops us from taking action. And seeing we're talking about the 10X rule and taking massive action. Fear. First of all, I want to ask people, do you believe that fear is in the past, the present, or the future?
I can say it depends on you, because it can be in the past, future, and then it can be in the present.
What was the question again? What was it?
Is fear based in the past, the present, or the future?
Present?
Future. Future.
I didn't hear. In the future?
Yeah.
Okay. And I agree with you, and I'm going to tell you why. Because fear, by definition, is the anticipation of pain. That's people will say it's false evidence appearing real. That's an acronym. The actual definition is the anticipation of pain. So if we're anticipating something, that's in the future. And if we're anticipating something that's in the future, and that is fear, does it even really exist?
That's when it's me thinking about it, and I'm like, let me give you an example. You're in school and they want you to stand up, and you're frightened because you don't know what to say. You're shy, and you're like, you can't take that action. You just can't. So that fear is just inside of you. So
it's right there and then, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
No, but what you're actually fearful of is all the things you just said.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. That's in the future. It hasn't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
What are people thinking? They haven't even thought it yet.
And you're never going to know anyway.
And you're never going to know anyway. And what does it matter?
Yeah.
So the anticipation of the pain in regards to those results is where that lies. And all of that lies right back here in your thoughts.
Yeah.
So the longer you think about it, the greater the fear becomes. The greater the fear becomes,
Less action.
The less action you take. The less action you get, the less results. So the idea is, picture this. Picture this scenario. Picture, or either, I know, Maryjoy, you're a mom. Are you a mom, Heidi?
Yeah.
Are you a parent?
2.
Okay. So picture your child. How old are your children?
13 and 15, mine are.
13 and 15. How about you, Maryjoy?
22, 12, and 7.
Okay, so picture the 7-year-old, right, in a burning building.
Oh my gosh.
What are you going to do?
I'll go straight and try to get him out.
Are you going to think about it?
Nope.
Nope. So you didn't have any thought.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even care about the fear or the feeling towards it. All you want to do is take action so you get a result, right?
Yep.
Now, picture that same scenario and you start thinking, oh, should I go into... Well, now let's think about it. What are some of the things that can happen if you don't go in?
Well, your child's die, he burns, or it's basically your worst nightmare happening in front of you if you don't go and take your child out of the fire. So
if you sat there and thought about it, you probably wouldn't get the result that you want, right? Because one of those things may be the result. You're going to do everything in your power to make sure that those things don't happen. And even if they do happen, you're going to go in there and make sure you're with them, because you're not going out to sit on the side. That's like the definition of regret.
Yeah.
And too many times people are thinking too much, getting caught up in their fear, and then they live in what's called regret. So if fear actually lives in the future and it doesn't exist presently, why aren't we taking more action?
Some though, like let's say we not fear, being judged. Some of us don't like to be judged because we're thinking, oh, they're not gonna like us, and all this that's going into your brain. So that's one of the issue as well.
Yeah, but that's a fear based in the future. Yeah. You're still thinking about things that people are going to judge you by. Mm-hmm. That's still based in the future. So why are you making your decisions right now based on what hasn't even happened yet?
Is it because we program from day one to think of the future? And
well, fear is a protector of us. We need fear. We'll never get rid of fear. Fear is there to protect us from harm's way, right? So logically, if things are not going to serve us, like we're not going to walk off a bridge, right? Because we're fearful that we'll hit the water or hit the cement below and hurt ourselves. In that regard, fear is normal. What we need to be is more conscious of what we're fearful of, so that when we take those actions, is this really going to harm me, or am I just scared of an outcome that is unrealistic, or I'm blowing up in my own mind? For instance, they're going to laugh at me. Think about it. If they do laugh at you, but you get your result that you want, does it really matter whether or not they laugh? And typically somebody's laugh or response is their own insecurity to something.
But let me share this. Some people are stuck, no matter what you say, because of that fear, they just can't move. Whether you say, oh, it's gonna be okay, it's just, what you just said, they just stuck in there and they can't move out of it because of that fear. So how are they gonna work on that?
Again, it goes back to being conscious of what they're fearful of, and is that actually true, or is it something they're fearful of in the future? Once you understand where you are, like if someone's fearful of jumping off a bridge, because the natural consequence is for them to not survive that because it's a 20-story bridge, that's a natural fear. But if someone's not getting up in order to speak their mind, they're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of failure. And guess what? Nobody, the very first time they're going to do anything, is going to be, I used this example the other day on my scope. Tony Robbins didn't become Tony Robbins to be able to speak in front of 20,000 people and control the audience by doing it once. Most people don't know this, but Tony Robbins started at 16 years old, and he spoke about 12 times a day, every single day. That's what we're practicing here on Periscope and on Blab and things like that. We're practicing the craft of being comfortable in front of a camera and having a conversation with an audience.
Go
ahead.
I heard once that it put our what do you call that, our group down, because somebody said Periscope is so frightening that this person completely just did not want to do it anymore because the fear of coming on live was too much. So that they said it's because of the group. But I think when you're saying it's that person's thoughts and feelings, because really and truly we've helped so many people that it shows. So that's one thing I got to say to you. Some people just can't move over that fear, and
but they can. They just need to put it in the context in which it's in. Most people have fears based on, all people have fears based on their experiences. At some point, those people have probably been embarrassed. Maybe a parent told them that they didn't speak well. If you listen to Mr. Relentless today, Mr. Relentless just talked to his mentor of all time that he wants to get on stage with. And I didn't know his story until today. His story is that he grew up with 2 deaf parents. By the time he got to kindergarten, he couldn't communicate verbally. Why? Because he just had to use sign language. Somebody told him at some point in his life that he wasn't very smart. It's not that he wasn't smart. He hadn't practiced verbally speaking because he didn't have to, because the 2 most important people in his life that were teaching him were deaf and couldn't do that themselves. So the first 4 or 5 years of his life, he didn't have to communicate with words. But somebody told him, a teacher that didn't know his experience or just thought he was dumb, because at that point, most people
should be able to speak verbally, he wasn't able to do so. It's not because he was dumb, but somebody programmed him to think he was dumb because he went on to share that he met his wife, and he basically told his wife, I like you, but I'm never going to be able to provide for you and have a big family because I am mentally handicapped. And she said, who told you that? Somebody lied to you. And she actually started to reprogram him. So what I'm saying to you is, some people have these fears. They need to understand where they got programmed, and we could undo and reprogram those thoughts. And a lot of it just comes with practice.
I think I've got a lot of re-undoing, Ryan, because through my childhood I've been told you're not this, you're not that, and you're not this. So let's say I'm from birth till let's say last year, everything was just down, down, down. So that's why some people find it hard, because over and over you've been told that. Yeah. So that's how it is for some people. That's why they find it hard to overcome it. So yeah.
So one of the things with you, and it makes a lot of sense now that you share that with me last week, if you don't mind me sharing with the people in the room. So you had some challenges because one or two people shared those same messages that you received as a child, and it slowed you down, if not stopped you, for a couple days.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Even though there's probably 24 people supporting you on a high level, you're so programmed that you wanted to listen to that negativity.
Yep. Yeah.
But now that you're conscious of it, now that you're voicing that out loud and you're conscious of it, you get to say, is that my programming? Yes. I feel it. I internalize it. It's a part of who I was my entire life and how I receive things. But now I'm an adult, and I get to make a conscious choice to say, I don't have to accept that. I can choose to accept all this positivity and put that negativity to the side. But that comes with maturity and experience and taking massive action. Back to the whole point of this scope is taking massive action. You learn through massive action what you want and do not want really quickly.
Yeah, so true. I have to owe a lot of this to 10X Rule book, because like you said, that programming, it really affected me from, when I was young till last year, where everybody was just putting every negative things towards me, and I had that breakdown, and I'm like, how worse can it get? And then I just said, you know what, enough. And this is where I started doing video, blogging, and it led me to Periscope. And the first time that I done Periscope, oh my gosh, I was like, it was out of my comfort zone. So I'm glad I done it. And yeah, we have gone over an hour. I don't know, Heidi.
I do have to get going. Yeah. I think today was awesome.
Yep.
From the comments in here, it looks like, some people got some value out of it. Thank you so much for stopping in. And I would love to do this again, as I'm going to continue to read the book. I think I'm going to follow suit with you and possibly go through a chapter a day, day by day, and introduce the book itself, because it's an amazing tool. For anybody who wants to get out of their own way and start taking action, but realize the action you must take in order to be successful.
Well, we can turn it into a 10X Rule book club. And also I'm looking for another book. So what have you read, Ryan, that has changed your life except this one?
You know what? Here's a great book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I've got it. I'm halfway through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's somebody else, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Relentless mentioned that one the other day, and I was like, I haven't read it in a couple year book. And if you're halfway through it, and it actually tells you at the beginning of the book, take a chapter and implement it. Read it and implement it. Read it and implement it.
I need to do it again. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
So the good thing about teaching and being here on Periscope is if you read a chapter, right, and you share it, it's almost like implement it, because you are reinforcing it. Being a teacher, you're reinforcing it, and then you want to go and implement it that much more. Why? Because you shared with the world, built in accountability, that, hey, this is something I learned. This is how I want to implement it. So you read it, you voiced it. Now you got to go do it. And people will see in your actions whether or not you're being true to yourself with that. So I think this book club thing on Periscope could really take off for all of us. I know I'm doing my quote scopes in the morning, which is getting really good, feedback and following. I'm getting a lot of people sharing it on Twitter. Why? Because it's quick, it's simple, and it's applicable to their day, right? So people get to start their day with a quick little message. I think doing a chapter a day of a book could be huge for people because it's like a book club, but you're doing it every single day.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you
thanks for having me. I'm going to get off now because I need to eat my blood sugars. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Maryjoy.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks, Blair.
Okay, shall we do another one next week?
I could do one next week. I believe Tuesday, the same time would probably be good. Today, I just happen to have you might want to stop the recording.
Okay, hang on a second.